So I'm a young advocate for persons with disability, precisely the blind. Um, I'm also an ex two times beauty queen. I contested for the Miss Port Harcourt City Beauty Pageant in 2022, July 3rd, and it was a pageant made for just women who were able bodies. I really needed a platform at some point to scream out my lungs to the world, to tell them, look, we deserve a place in society, because as of that time, the discrimination was terrible in Port Harcourt, in many cities here in Nigeria, in Africa, I would say as a whole, but
It
terribly,
still is.
it was way worse. Yes, it still is. It still is. But I'm happy there are a little more um, development compared to how it was before. I remember I walk into the bank before and people look at me weirdly. So I wanted something to really scream out what we are made of and who we are, to start a revolution. So I needed a platform. And the only platform I could find was pageantry, because I searched for so many jobs. I was rejected. People were like, I can't employ a blind person. And I'm like, why? I'm not asking you to bathe me or feed me. I'm just asking for you to give me a space. All I need is a seat to put my butt down and pen down whatever needs to be penned down, with either my phone or whatever device I have with me. So finally I found my way to pageantry. I signed up, which was really impressive because many people didn't believe in that. I could get that far. But long story short, I contested and we're about 18 girls. I was the 19th and I was the only blind. I made it as second runner up, and I was endowed with the title Miss Port Harcourt City Humanity 2022. And that began the journey of me finding myself even more, and my passion for really advocating became stronger because I faced a lot of discrimination, a lot of setbacks, a lot of exploitation from the organization who didn't want to promote me. They didn't want to spend a penny. All they wanted to do is use me to get their pockets filled up. And at
Wow.
some point, I was really depressed. I just couldn't take it anymore. It continued for like a year, and my crown had to obviously go over to the next person. I needed to hand over the crown. And it was months of depression for me because everything I wanted to do, I couldn't do. Um, I felt like I was a disappointment to the disabled community. Then I found myself for another pageant, Miss Steph Pageant 2023, and I won as well, becoming Miss Steph Courage the First 2023, and that makes it two. We were 22. I was the only one who was blind amongst 22. Yeah, so that's twice in a row, and it was really amazing. Every journey for me has been a lesson to learn, a lesson to keep, a moment to grow, and memories forever to be remembered. I found my way into live streaming, and I was able to build a community for myself, telling stories, encouraging, inspiring, and motivating. And fast forward into 2025, pardon me, I was invited for an interview as someone had referred me to a radio station here in Port Harcourt called Kids FM 101.7. I did the interview, I passed through, got the employment letter, and by July 28th, 2025, I had resumed work as a radio host. And that was surprising because when I checked the statistics, I happened to be still, again, the very first and only young blind radio host in Port Harcourt. Not that I know of any who is working with a corporate or organization that isn't affiliated with a school or something. The ones I know are basically OAPs via the school radio, but this is the first, and I happen to do that again. So I think I worked for about 6.5 months, and I would tell stories, kids stories, because it's a family station, had a couple of them under my belt. And every time I went for an activation, I would see the faces of people like, oh my God, I can't believe you're blind. Some couldn't even believe that I was blind until I told them, look, I'm blind. And they're like, oh, you're blind, really? How? But so far, so good. Every journey has been fueled by one thing: passion, determination to really, really, really speak volumes for people like me. Because I know how I felt walking in a room and you're being told you don't belong here. You could just feel the aura that says, you're not supposed to be here. You're not one of us. Even when trying, I know how I've been put down. You know, the one thing that fools me is the love I have for people like me and the passion that flows through my vein. It's thanks to their everyday cries and their everyday determination to still persevere despite the storms we face.